howdy, hey, psychopaths and anybody that likes to go to Arkham Asylum. Wolfman407 here, once again without a top on because, well, I've just actually got up, so, yeah, not had a shower, not got dressed or anything, so, yeah. I know the Joker's not typically associated with Halloween or horror or whatever, but I thought today we would do a character study of him because, well, he's one of these people that I have been wanting to talk about and sort of, try and see the mystery about him and all that. I'm one of the people that actually likes the mystery of the Joker, not having a identity before he becomes the Joker, because, I'd say it's up to people's interpretation as to what his identity is, whether you believe it's whatever the films have or video games and so forth have depicted or whatever. Yeah, I just love the mystery. So I'm going to go over most of the people that have played the character and also some versions of the character from the comics. I'm not going to go through all of them because I've not seen too much of some Jokers. So, for example, I've not seen the Joker in Young Justice, and I've not seen the Joker in Super Friends. So those two don't really know too much about, but I'm going to go through most of the others that I know of. So let's get to it. And I've actually got my tablet here to help me remember which ones I do know of and have seen. So let's go. So first up is Cesar Romero. He plays the character in the Adam West era of Batman. So he appears in the Adam West Batman TV series and the Adam West Batman film as well. I don't think he appears in the two animated films as far as I can remember. He's a Joker that is a bit silly. Let's be honest. Pretty much most things you see in the Adam West series are a bit silly, but he's one that does come across as more of a clown, if anything. And yeah, he does commit crimes, but he's not like an outright monster like most depictions of the Joker make him out to be. He's a good one, iconic in a way. Next, I'd be surprised if anybody doesn't know this one, Jack Nicholson. Now, in the Tim Burton Batman film, Jack Nicholson plays the gangster known as Jack Napier, which many Batman fans have sort of welcomed as the sort of alias of the Joker if he had got a name before becoming the Joker. And this version of the Joker is a gangster, a typical gangster, and one that in the Tim Burton universe was the one responsible for the deaths of Thomas and Martha Wayne, not Joe Chill, as it's traditionally known as in the comics and other media. And yeah, he gets his comeuppance in the end. And I will say, Jack Nicholson is a great actor, great in anything he does, and he was a good Joker in that one, I'd say. Though I do wonder how he was able to maintain the smile. I think there was some prosthetics stuff done there, but anyway. Again, another Joker that I'll be surprised no one knows about is Mark Hamill. Now, most of you know Mark Hamill as the guy who plays Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. He also played Joker as well. Most of you will know him as the Joker in the DC animated universe, so things like the Batman animated series, the New Adventures of Batman and Robin. He also appeared for a 3-part crossover episode in Superman the Animated Series. I think he appeared in Static Shock, but I'm not sure. I've not actually seen Static Shock. I don't think it was broadcast here in the UK. He's also in for a few episodes in Justice League, the animated series. And he also he doesn't appear in the Batman Beyond series per se, but he does appear in this sort of finale film, whatever you want to call it, Return of the Joker. This version of the Joker is depicted as a monster. At first, he's a typical gangster who tries to run these rackets around Gotham, but Batman stops him at every turn, so he tries other ways to take on Batman because he just wants revenge. and that ultimately leads into him psychologically turning one of Batman's Robins into a version of him, which later on becomes a major threat against Terry McGinnis and an older Batman in the Batman Beyond series. And in Justice League, he finds the Royal Flush Gang and uses them as his new people. And an interesting fact, so some of you may not know this, but that particular Justice League episode that the Royal Flush Gang appear in, called Wildcards, which is again another two-parter, all those characters are voiced by the cast of Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, which I think was a nice Easter egg because Teen Titans was being made at the time. Originally, it was planned to be part of the DC animated universe, but that didn't happen, and then it was retooled into becoming its own thing. Mark Hamill also voices the Joker in the Arkham games, playing more of a traditional Joker who just likes the thrill and joy of tormenting Batman, and actually does almost succeed in turning Batman into him, which I'll talk a bit about later on. And he has voiced Joker and other stuff as well, but those are the main two things he's done. He also done a Killing Joke too. So next is Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger has only appeared once in The Dark Knight, which was the middle chapter of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. This take on the Joker is a psycho, but also an anarchist who likes to who succeeded in turning Gotham into somewhat of a, well, I don't know. He made two ships of people decide who to kill, and he was also partially responsible for the creation of Two-Face and Batman being hunted down by the police, but not so much Jim Gordon because he's still an ally, but the rest of the police for sure. And he's a great Joker, that one. A not so great Joker, but I feel I need to talk about him anyway because he did play the Joker, is Jared Leto. Jared Leto plays the Joker in the DC Extended Universe, appearing in Suicide Squad as not like a main antagonist, but more of a nuisance antagonist, as it were. And in the extended, and in Zack Snyder's Justice League, the extended version of Justice League, as it were. He plays Joker as a typical gangster with psychological traits. Like he was successful in turning Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn into the Harley Quinn we know. And yeah, he's not the greatest Joker. In fact, he was even meant to have a spin-off film, but no one really liked him very much. I hear he's a bit of a jerk in real life, and when they were making the first Suicide Squad, he did stuff to the cast, not sexual stuff per se, but send them like dead rats and all sorts. So it's a bit scary. So that's that. Then there's Cameron Monaghan. Cameron Monaghan plays not Joker as such, but he plays like plays once again another character that has an alias before becoming the Joker, or rather two characters I should say, which can't remember the life of, which I can't remember, but I know his take was good. He was definitely insane enough to be the Joker. Most of you will know him as playing Cal Kestis in the Star Wars games I've been playing recently. And his take on Joker, whether you want to call it Joker or not, they were good. Yeah, really good. Troy Baker, very famous and well-known voice actor. He's voiced the Joker in various forms of media. Most will remember him voicing the Joker in Arkham Origins. Basically trying to imitate Mark Hamill the best way he can, but ended up doing that and doing his own take on the character. He also voiced Joker in the Long Halloween, and also another Arkham piece of media which was the animated film Assault on Arkham. And I think he's done other voice Joker in other times as well, but those were like the main three that I remember him voicing the character in. And Troy Baker is a great voice actor. He's done a lot of work. He's voiced all sorts of characters across video games, animated films, and even some anime as well. And most will say he's a bit of a looker as well. So yeah. I haven't seen much of the Batman animated series, but the guy that voices the Joker in that is Kevin Michael Richardson, who voices a Joker who has long hair, and I think he is a bit like the Mark Hamill Joker, but a bit immature in a way. I'm not sure. I need to see more of that to sort of say what I think of that. Jeff Bennett, who voices Joker in the Batman Brave and the Bold animated series, comes across more of a clown with a permanent smile all the time like this. And I don't think he's the best Joker, but he does sort of come across as like he's trying to channel Cesar Romero's Joker. At least that's how I see it. John DiMaggio, who everyone knows as Bender, he voices, and the Scotsman from the Samurai Jack series, he voices Joker in the two films that are basically part of the same universe, which are Death of the Family and Under the Red Hood. Even though his voice is Bender's voice that comes out of him when he voices the character in the films, his take is a monster. He basically tries to torment Jason Todd, and has no shame, no grace, no whatever. He just loves what he does, and there's no redeeming qualities about him. That's basically Joker in a nutshell, I'd say. Michael Emerson, he voiced the Joker in the two-part animated adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns, which has no relation to the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy other than sharing part of the same name, and elements of the story as well. His take on Joker is pretty much what I would expect a take on the Joker who's lost his way and ultimately became insane again after Batman revealed himself after having retired for so long. He's basically quite an insane, over-the-top Joker that will do anything to destroy Batman, and of course ultimately Batman destroys him, or he destroys himself by snapping his neck like that. Ugh. I hope I pronounced this name right. John Spisak. Now, this Joker doesn't appear too much in the DC animated movie universe. In fact, I think he only appears in the animated adaptation of Batman Hush. And there's not really much to him. He's just a typical Joker. That's all I can say on that. Kevin Pollak, so he voices the Joker in not the Lego Batman movie, but the Lego movies to do with Batman and DC. These were ones that were like direct-to-home media releases that do feature some of the cast of the Lego Batman video games, but not all the cast. And it was fine. His take, not one that I'll remember too much about, but his take was fine. Basically just being a silly Joker, I'd say. Next is Tony Hale. Tony Hale voices the Joker in the anime known as Batman Ninja. I would have preferred it to be called Ninja Batman, but there you go. An insane Joker that will happily take down Batman and actually succeeds in fooling Batman into thinking he's become normal, whatever normal is. And even though he was doing the English dub of what was otherwise a Japanese film, it's important to note that that film actually has two scripts. one that's in the original Japanese voiced version, and one that's in the English dub. And the one I've seen is the English dub. I don't know how different the Japanese one is, but yeah. Right, I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing this actor's surname, so I'm just gonna put it on the screen in the edit. But anyway, Zach, whatever his surname is, he was in the Hangover. He voices the Joker in the Lego movie universe, in particular the Lego Batman movie. Not a monster per se, he just wants Batman to acknowledge him as his greatest enemy, and Batman fails to do so at first, which ultimately leads to Joker hatching a plan to get himself in the Phantom Zone to recruit all the different villains from the Lego universe, which ended up being a lot of villains from different pieces of pop culture. And he ultimately, in the end, manages to get Batman to acknowledge his place in Batman's life. So yeah. Christopher Corey Smith. So returning to Lego again, this is the guy that voices the Joker in the Lego Batman video games. In particular, Lego Batman 2, Lego Batman 3, and Lego Dimensions. Mark Hamill voices him in Lego DC Supervillains. He's basically a typical Joker, just likes committing crimes and doing all sorts. Hates the thought of losing Batman, but does like the idea of trying to destroy Batman. I don't think he's depicted as a monster, much like the Zack, whatever his name is, Joker. But I don't know. And the last one I'm going to talk about as a portrayal of the Joker, and one that you probably would have suspected I would end on, is Joaquin Phoenix. And I hope I pronounced his name right. He plays the Joker in the film simply titled Joker, depicted as a guy that is a sort of entertainer, but then slowly but steadily, but wants to be a comedian, but slowly but steadily turns insane to the point where he gets committed to, I think, Arkham Asylum. And because there was no Batman that existed at the time, this ultimately led into the famous deaths of Thomas and Martha Wayne. And I know there's a sequel coming out that will feature Harley Quinn, played by Lady Gaga, which will be interesting. And that's basically what his take is. A nice guy turned into a monster, without the need of Ace Chemicals acid, like it has been traditionally used for the Joker previously. So that's it for portrayals. Now I'm going to talk a bit about the two comic book adaptations of the character. There's, of course, he as well as Batman and the other villains have all made their debuts in comics. But the ones that have interested me when it comes to the comics are the ones featured in the New 52 era, in which Joker cuts his face off and tries to torment Batman and his allies in Death of the Family, which ultimately leads to Batman trying to reveal his identity, but Joker then mysteriously disappears, only to appear later on down the line where he tries to pit the Justice League against Batman, and Batman ultimately defeats Joker at the cost of his own and Joker's life. And I think he does come close to finding the true identity of the Joker, but then it turns out there's actually 3 people that are Joker. And I forget how the rest of that story goes. Then there's the Killing Joke Joker, who succeeds in tormenting the Jim and Barbara Gordon. What he does to Barbara Gordon is make her sort of lose the ability to walk, and she becomes wheelchair bound. And although not specifically said, he takes pictures of her naked, which comes across as if he tried to rape her, but maybe not rape her. I don't know. This was before Harley Quinn was part of Joker's life when it came out. The comic book, that is. And then he tries to turn Jim Gordon into one of him by stripping him and try to turn him into him. But Gordon is as insane as he ever was, and Batman succeeds in talking Joker down into stopping what he's doing. In the animated adaptation, I have to say this was, I think, the last thing that Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy did. And as you will have seen in the YouTube short I uploaded some time ago of them, that was like the most human that the two have ever been. And it's the same in the comics. Batman tries to talk him down, saying that he might be able to help him, and Joker says, no, it's too late for that. And then he tells a joke when Batman laughs, which ultimately finally has Joker finally succeed in doing the one thing he's always wanted to do and make Batman laugh. His greatest nemesis, make him laugh. And that was a really amazing moment. Whatever happens after that is up to you guys, what you think happened. And then there's the Bat Who Laughs. So this is a Batman that is Bruce Wayne and succeeded in killing the Joker and probably other villains and stuff as well before becoming the Joker himself, or a combination of the Joker and Batman, and ultimately becoming the Bat Who Laughs. And I like to say that this probably was what would have happened to the Batman in the Arkham games had Joker succeed in completely taking over his body. He would have ultimately become the Bat Who Laughs and caused chaos and all sorts in Gotham. And he is among some other Batman who basically are the equivalent of the Justice League. They're all Bruce Waynes, all Batman, but each having the abilities of the Justice League. So one's a Kryptonian, one's got one of the Lantern Rings, one has the abilities of Flash, one has the abilities of Aquaman, one has the abilities of whoever else there is. Yeah, you know how it works. And they all come from the dark DC multiverse that emerge into the mainstream DC multiverse in a big comic book event. So that is the Joker. He is an insane psychopath that will do anything to get what he wants. He will interfere in other people's plans. His relationship with Harley Quinn is definitely abusive. No matter how you see it, it definitely comes across as abusive. And he is what he is. I love the mystery of his character. I love the things that he tries to do. It may not be like stuff. He may be very irredeemable, but he is what he is. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please like, share, comment and subscribe. I especially like to know what you think of the Joker, whether you think you like the mystery of him, whether you like to know if he's got a name or whatever. I'd just like to know what you think about it. So see you in the next one. Peace to you all. And maybe don't ever try to fall into a pool of acid, because you may end up going insane, turn into a character like the Joker and cause all sorts of chaos. So just don't do it. Right, see you next time.